Welcome to Ahval Radio. Now we are together with Christiane Schlötzer, a colleague from Germany. She's a deputy feature editor with the prestigious Süddeutsche Zeitung. And we will speak about the release of Deniz Yücel and the background of the release. And welcome to our radio, Christiane.
Hello, welcome. Thank you.
We will speak, there is a very interesting story today in the front page of Süddeutsche Zeitung, giving the background in detail of what really took place before the release of Deniz Yücel, our colleague now in Germany in freedom, after spending a year behind bars in Turkish jail, without an indictment, in pre-detention conditions. And the day, yesterday it was, he was released just half an hour after the indictment was also issued, interestingly enough. So the entire episode actually is interesting from the beginning to the end. What is the Süddeutsche Zeitung story telling the readers today?
There was some diplomatic traffic before this release. It was a lot of diplomatic traffic, we can say. We knew a part of it before, but we could not write about it. And yesterday, the foreign minister, Sigmar Gabriel, came to Süddeutsche, and he told us some more details, but we knew some details before. So there were a lot of meetings, especially even 2 meetings with President Erdoğan of
Secret
Mr. Gabriel.
Meetings. Secret, undisclosed meetings.
Yes, they were not disclosed. There was a very small group who knew about it in the foreign ministry. And maybe the most important meetings were, one was in Rome on February 4th and 1 week later in Istanbul. And Gabriel was called to attend these meetings with Erdoğan personally. So it was quite high-ranking meetings.
Yes. So let's explain it to our listeners. The most important meeting preceding the release seems to have taken place in Rome when Turkish President Erdoğan was on a visit to Vatican. Early February. Was this the key meeting to discuss the conditions of the release?
I guess it was the key meeting, and Gabriel, as he told us, of course he could not disclose everything, but what he told us is that he went to Rome and he did not know before exactly that he would meet Mr. Erdoğan. It was a meeting with Mr. Çavuşoğlu first, and
Turkish foreign minister.
The Turkish foreign minister. With him, he had some more meetings before. The 2 foreign ministers. I think the intention was before. We tried to, the relations between Germany and Turkey were very bad in the last time, so we tried to improve these relations. This was the beginning, and one of the topics was always Deniz Yücel in these talks. It was also a very important topic in the talks with Mr. Erdoğan, then in Rome. But the talks lasted for about 2 hours, so they talked about the situation in Syria and some other issues, I'm sure.
And that was followed by another visit by Gabriel, this time in Turkey.
Yes, he was called on short notice to come to Istanbul again to speak about the details of the release.
When was this?
This was the Sunday after the meeting in Rome, and the meeting in Rome was on February 4th, so the Sunday later. And the problem was that the Turkish side was insisting that it will be a decision of a court. So, and as far as I know, the German side said, okay, it is a decision of the court. This was maybe more diplomatic language, but we know that the courts are not so independent in Turkey. But Gabriel didn't talk about this. He didn't say the courts are not independent. He insisted to thank the court at the end. So this was
were other top German figures involved, like Schröder or any other people?
Yes, as we learned yesterday, Schröder was also involved. Schröder was also before he was involved in the release in the case of Peter Steutner, the human rights activist who was released last year. And Schröder was again involved in the case of Deniz Yücel. He also traveled to Turkey to talk with Mr. Erdoğan.
Okay, Christiane, can we say anything about, at this stage, as we speak, whether or not there was anything concrete in let's say, negotiations, or some call it horse trade between the two countries. Very unusual one, because these people, journalists, were depicted as hostages. So hostage diplomacy is a new term that we maybe will speak more and more in the future. Was there any concrete negotiations, give and take, between two countries?
We know that Dennis Yücel insisted there would be no dirty deal. He said it before, he said it from the prison. And also his friends insisted that it would be no dirty deal. So, and we know that Yücel was very much hesitant that all the impressions that it could be a kind of a deal. And Mr. Gabriel also insisted there was no deal. So nothing like weapons for Yücel or whatever. He insisted there was no deal. We can only say that they both said it, so we keep it like this.
We'll see, yes. Also, to a reminder to our readers, to listeners, that today, Gabriel, in Munich Security Conference, said that normalization between these two countries should start. Perhaps we could speculate that the lifting of the warning of German citizens to visit Turkey can be expected, as much as perhaps lifting of some sort of credit restrictions to German companies, etc., can also be expected. But all remain to be seen.
Yes, but I guess this could happen, and this could happen because if the relations get better, it would happen anyhow. So maybe this is the kind of deal that the relations get better, which I think Turkey is very much interested because also of the economic situation.
Yes,
Gabriel
it's mutual.
did not talk about this, but this is for sure.
Of course, it's of mutual interest, as the leaders express it. One final question, Christiane. Gabriel today, I think, mentioned 5 other German citizens in Turkish jails. Do we know who these people are?
No, he said they're in jail for political reasons, not for criminal cases, but the names are not disclosed, and the foreign minister doesn't want to disclose it because of personal reasons for these people. So we don't know who they are.
Christiane Schlötzer, Deputy Features Editor with Süddeutsche Zeitung. Thank you for this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you.